Welcome to Dave Talks Some More, the podcast at the intersection of humor and, Hey, I'm your host, Dave, and together we'll explore a riveting world of mundane topics with unparalleled indifference. So get ready for a riveting journey through,
whatever.
This is Dave Talks Some More. All right, far out. Thanks for joining us. We missed last week because it was Mother's Day weekend. Probably have a lot to talk about on that. And we're joined by special guest Jenny Wilson.
Yes.
Hey. Jenny. Hey,
Jenny Woo.
And what's
Jenny
his
Woodruff.
face? What's his face? Sean Guy. He dragged in again, so we went ahead and put him on the air too. Hey, Sean.
Hello, how are you
doing? How's your weekend?
It was great, and I'm wearing some new gear from our sponsor.
Oh yeah,
Cowboy Country Club. How you like this hat?
Yeah, that looks very professional.
Yeah, it's green.
Professionally done.
But it's got the little logo with the cowboy up there. So
And how do they get in touch with
Our viewer?
our viewers,
Touch
they can go to www.cowboycountryclub.com.
And I read on foxnews.com and cnn.com, but that we have a promotional code that people can use.
We do have a promotional code.
What's that about?
DTSM15. If you go and you can use our DTSM15 and get 15% off of your order. They sell hats, obviously like this, but they sell a bunch of different hats. They sell golf shirts, belts, just a whole assortment of things related to the hip and casual golfer.
It's subtle. It's subtle. Just wove that into the show
Wow,
content.
that's
That was
good.
good. Well, Jenny, I know you through social media because
Yes.
you're our local social media influencer.
Oh.
Among other things, give us the 3-minute sketch of what you're into.
Okay, well, I work at the Northside Sun. I've been there for a long time. And I sell ads and write articles and take photos. So a lot of people probably know me as the Zap. Wasn't that in college, the Zap lady?
Right.
The Zap lady? Anyway, that's what they call me.
If you've been to any type of function
Yeah.
in Jackson
Yes.
in the last 20 years,
Right.
you have seen Jenny.
Yes, so I am
And I always
just a fixture.
I don't go to as many as I used to, but I do love going because I know I'm always going to see Jenny.
Yeah.
The question I've always asked whenever I go to these events, and there's a lot of photographs taken, not all of them published, but it's the same question for you as I always had for the high school yearbook people, which is then you've got 200 photographs of the heart ball or the art auction or whatever, and somebody's got to look at the photos and say, okay, that's John Smith and his wife. Oh, that's not a good pic. John Smith's girlfriend's in the back. We don't want that.
Jenny recently had a
does that?
post about this very point.
Oh, really?
She was essentially getting on anyone and everyone.
Well, I have my little pad, and if I know you, I still sometimes as I get old, I cannot remember your name,
Right.
or the spelling or anything like that. So Facebook has been a godsend for forever because I'm able to go and look them up, or I do get like my people will tell like I think I probably sent you a picture one time and asked
Probably.
you.
See, that's what I'm figuring you have to do is
there's
send
some-
pictures to people and go, all right,
Who
great
is
Who is
picture, but
that?
who is this?
Yeah, because they think that I automatically know them, and I do. I just can't remember their names.
If you forget my name,
I
I'm
know.
forgetting our friendship.
Have you botched any titles where you just got the totally wrong name or?
Well, probably the best one was. Well, a lot of people, they like to tell me the wrong name. Like, they think it's funny. Hey, I'm Donald Trump, or, they say, well, one time
Hilarious.
somebody did get me, and they said his name was Daryl or Darren. Do y'all remember Bewitched?
Yeah, sure.
Darren, what was his last name?
Who?
I can't remember now because it's been a few years, but yeah, he ended up in the Northside Sun magazine. as the bewitched husband.
There you go.
So that was pretty fun.
Darren was the first one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Darren. It was Darren something. I can't remember.
Yes.
But
Well, how did you get into doing social media jokes? We were talking about the TikTok that you did from Miss Kelly that I think that hit pretty well. I don't remember the numbers, but
yeah, it was good.
did well.
You know, my daughter is real, you know, she's 22 or almost 22 actually. So she's all into that. So she decided that was something, because I was looking for a couch and we were there and it was like, we saw the pillows, you know, that say family is forever and that sort of thing. And she said, Mom, let's do this TikTok. And so I did it. It was fun. It was hilarious.
It was very good.
And they
And
didn't
we
get
were-
mad at you.
They loved it. And they were like, tag us. So that's what I did. I tagged them on social media.
For the people that didn't see it, the gist of it is, I'm looking for some tacky throw pillows that say "Home Forever." Oh, look, here they are.
Oh, my gosh.
Live, laugh,
Perfect.
love.
Yeah,
I needed to be reminded that I have to live, laugh, and love.
Right.
I'm looking for a black leather recliner with blue lights on the bottom. Oh my God, here
Yes.
it is. You know,
No, but the best though today on the video was the foosball.
Yes.
This was a coffee table, right?
It was a coffee table doubled as a foosball table.
I mean, this would be the star of Kramer's coffee table book.
yeah,
It
so
was awesome.
Yeah, so that was the gag. Is no, I really need a specialty item. And,
Yeah.
Oh, well, there it is. So
That's
it
right.
was- it
Oh my
was
gosh,
genius.
perfect. It's like a trend on TikTok.
Becca is also her daughter, is still a student at Ole Miss and works for my son Parker at Tico's,
Oh, okay.
Yes.
and is up in the running for best server in Oxford right now.
That's right. So go vote every day.
No,
She
Sean.
actually is really good. She holds, I mean, she like consistently breaks her own record for the most revenue generated per night for a server.
Yes. She made like $800 in
God.
one night. I was like, where?
Breaking a
give me
record of
some.
like 750, which broke a record of like 725. I mean,
Mhm.
she does really well.
We hadn't been here in a couple of weeks. Did you see the video of the server that was carrying a tray full of food, and this guy walks past him and just
Oh yes.
dumps the
Oh
tray?
my goodness. No, I hadn't seen
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And I have not heard what the fallout on that was, but I thought, after seeing it, I thought, A, what kind of idiot does that? And B, I'm kind of surprised that doesn't happen all the time, because people think this will be a funny practical joke, you know, people being the jerks that they are.
I saw it, and initially I thought it was just an accident. He just kept walking.
Mm-mm.
Then I saw it a second time when I was strolling through Twitter, and I was like, "Oh, this jackass just
Yeah.
totally dumped it." I mean,
I
he
don't
just
think
took his
I've seen
hand and hit the
that.
whole tray. I mean, it was a huge circular tray.
Where
with-
was it?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked like it was
Oh.
shocker.
Atlanta.
Uh, probably something like
mean.
Golden Corral.
Yeah, right. They
Well-
were hungry.
Well, Sean, how's your weekend? Did you do anything of any interest at all? You just screwing around the TV set, watching baseball, sleeping?
Well, no, I actually have had a pretty busy, fruitful weekend. So just this and that. The weather was a little bummer yesterday, but it was all right. It got nice by the end of the day. So
It was yesterday was the first day that all year that I thought, okay, so the heat's oppressive, summer has arrived, spring is over. That was kind of the big show topic for this week is, you know, the summer is finally here, so it's graduation season. It's time to make the sweet tea and clean out the grill, and you know.
speaking of the grill, so we were grilling out the other night, and Sarah says to me, "I can't find any of our grill brushes that we had. I need you to go buy a grill brush." This was yesterday. And I said, because she knew I was going to Home Depot, had to exchange some stuff. But anyway, I said, well, Sarah, we have 3 grill brushes. And she's like, where? And I was like, out there in that basket where I told you I put all the, outdoor grill stuff. And so Sarah, I get back and Sarah's like, well, I couldn't find the grill brushes anywhere. And we really need to buy a new grill brush because I've seen where people can get grill brushes stuck in their food and they swallow it and it perforates their esophagus. And I'm like,
if you eat copper wire,
yeah,
it could be bad. Yeah.
And so anyway, I said, well, did you actually look in the garage where we keep it all? And she was like, I looked everywhere but there.
And then guess what?
Yeah, I did not buy. I mean, I could not have come home with another grill brush. I mean, you know, those are things that it's kind of like Trump and the dolls. Do you really need 3 grill brushes? I can get by with one.
No. Friday night was the MRA graduation, and Madison Central graduated
yesterday morning.
Yes, Saturday morning. Kind of a circle of life thing for me because, let's see, Bonnie's son graduates high school, MRA Friday. My son's longtime girlfriend graduated Thursday with her PhD in chemistry, you know, like we all did, from University of Tennessee. And then
did she walk?
Yeah. Well, yeah. And then my stepniece, I'm not sure what the term, what do you call your niece's child? Graduates from pre-K. Pre-K 4.
Your niece's child.
My niece's child. Pre-K 4. So I'm all the way from PhD in chemistry to high school graduate.
Should know.
To 4K.
I mean, David should know too.
Wait, your niece's.
We have to learn all this stuff in law school.
Your niece's child.
It'll be your great niece.
I think is your great niece. So just kind of a circle of life. I will say this: MRA ran a military precision type graduation. It's about 110 kids graduated. They ran it through 40 minutes straight. I'm sure, among other things that you saw on the internet in the last week or two, were the kids that were graduating and absolutely just acting out, going crazy like they'd never been indoors before, or what I really hate. You know what I'm talking about? Have you seen these videos?
Madison Central had that.
Yeah, and or
did
what?
They?
Oh yeah.
I hate that. Are the kid that rushes the speaker's podium, free Palestine? You know, that's why I came, is to hear what some high school graduate, you know, what his political views are. I mean, come on, let's go. So big kudos to MRA. 40 minutes from the very beginning of the ceremony to the dismissal. 110 kids, and it ran like clockwork. I was thrilled.
I'm going to ask both of y'all this question because you were obviously at graduation and you were at graduation. I know that there are going to be a few people that really want to be there to see their loved one graduate. But do you really want to be there?
Well, I did, but and I mean, I don't know. I know that you talk about MRA, Madison Central. They have 400 kids that they have to get done.
Oh, God. 400.
And they were like, it was as quick as a private school. It was so quick. And the only thing was
Adam Aardvark, Mark Abels, Mike Baker, Charlie Dixon. Go, get it going.
And they give you their name, like they have their name and they give it to the speaker and then they go, and it's so quick. But the problem was that, you know, they say don't applaud until the end, right?
Well, you're not supposed to do
That's never going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, you had a whole, like, you know, and it was just.
It doesn't ever happen. But it is nice to know that if you're filming something and, you know, the parents or family of the kid that just walked in front of them start screaming in your video, I mean, your video is totally ruined.
Right.
Yeah,
it's
exactly great
right.
when everybody's screaming while your kid's name is being called.
Exactly.
Because they haven't stopped screaming for their kid that walked two kids before you.
And then when Nate came, I did go,
I just hate these.
I'm part of the
A
problem.
little hypocrisy there. It's okay. It's all right.
But it wasn't
You're
loud.
still a good person, Jenny.
Here I am judging, and I was like, what?
It was a good accomplishment.
Yeah, it was.
Well, the thing that I didn't know was a thing is the graduation night, all night party, stay out thing.
You didn't know this was a thing?
Well, it wasn't a thing back in the 1850s when I graduated from high school. you graduated and then,
Dave is a baby boomer.
well, don't start with that. I mean, look, both of my kids graduated Brandon High School. Here's what they did. Graduated from Brandon High School at the Coliseum. And then we drove across the street to the Whataburger, and my dad paid for all the Whataburger, and well, that was it. Congratulations, you're a high school graduate, and that was it. I mean, they got presents, graduation presents, but the idea of let's go on an all night whatever. I'm not judging the people who do it.
Yeah.
I didn't know
We did
that.
it.
Of course, this is before I lived in Madison, the city. And I didn't realize, that's just how they roll.
Yeah, they did it at JA 1992 when I graduated.
Well, I can tell you this from all 3 of my children that graduated from J in the last 10, 12, 13 years, they have a huge, event planned for the whole night. Bus, you got parents that are chaperoning. They stay up until the sunrise. Now, let's be honest. I did all that, okay? But I wasn't riding on a bus. I was driving, not a bus, but a car. And I was certainly watching the sunrise and not sober and having a blast. But the purpose, obviously...
that's the reason that my grade in 1992 probably had the night to remember.
Yes.
Because I think your grade was like the last to not have that.
Probably. So, I mean, it is good that they do all of this to apparently, prevent all of the drinking. I mean, not apparently. I mean, they do that to prevent the drinking. They don't want people dying on graduation night from, drunk driving or whatever.
Yeah, there's an insider story that I won't repeat, but if you know somebody whose kid graduated MRA or you know of somebody, funny story at the City Hall Friday night, which I'm absolutely not going to repeat on the air because I don't want to get sued. But
that's where y'all graduated?
No, they graduated at Broadmoor Baptist.
Okay.
But they did the all night, we're going to do 2 hours here and 3 hours. And my poor wife was just absolutely
She was
wiped
a
out.
chaperone.
Yeah, she was a chaperone. It just absolutely killed her. But anyway, one of the events was over at Ridgeland City Hall, and funny stuff happened. But I'm not going to get in trouble by repeating the story.
We can change the names to protect the innocent.
I'm not even going there.
Was it a scheduled thing, or they just ended up there?
It was a very unscheduled thing.
Did police get called?
Yeah, police were there.
Wow.
So good.
I can't wait to hear this off the air.
Was
I know.
I'll tell you this. Probably, what did I say? 110 kids graduated. There's probably 110 TikTok or Snapchat or whatever videos that are out there, because I bet every kid had their phone out. But anyway, just something to throw out there. Another thing that I did not know about the Madison type people is that the 2 weeks after, the 3911, the 39211, they roll a lot differently than Rankin County, where my kids were growing up. Y'all roll so differently, because one of the things I didn't know
Fair
is
point.
the 2 weeks after graduation, half of Madison decamps for 30A. And then on Saturday or Sunday after that week, they're coming home and they're passing the other half of Madison that's going for week 2. And I don't know who makes the arrangements.
It's called first week.
Yeah, but over those first 2 weeks,
been there for a while.
Yeah, the entire city of Madison finds its way down to the beach. I didn't know that was. I mean, in Brandon, like I say, where my kids were graduating high school, hell, we went down to First Baptist Church and helped them get ready for Vacation Bible School, and that was
so. When I graduated, half of our class at JA, we did the cruise, and the other half did first week in Florida. And I've got a I don't know, one of these photo albums on my Apple account that everyone can share, and we've got about 30 pictures that a bunch of us have kind of gotten together, which is a fair amount considering all we had were, either Polaroids or we had, a Kodak little disposable camera, which is pretty good.
That is good.
Yeah, I was high in every one.
Bless.
my eyes were like, half open or half closed.
Well, I can tell you, I had never been to 30A before, and my wife takes me for this first week thing.
When was this?
This would have been 2018, May of 2018.
That was your first ever 30A?
I've never been to 30A in my life.
It's the most expensive place in America.
It turned out to be. And I'd been living in Mississippi. That would have made 19 years. And it was the first, I'd heard about 30A, but, it's like, yeah, whatever. I've been to the beach. What's the big deal? And for those who have been to 30A, they understand what the big deal is. And for those who haven't, it's like, yeah, it's the beach. Oh, it's the nice part of the beach. Okay, yeah, big deal. And it was
white sands forever, blue crystal water, and great food,
and a million Mississippi license plates. And
Texas, and Louisiana.
I mean, when we were driving in, I thought, what the hell? Everybody from Mississippi is here.
Right.
It was a shock. So, this is the first year in, gosh, probably forever that,
when I went, people were staying in essentially Fort Walton Beach, and they were starting in the late 80s, they were starting to really kind of move down to Destin.
Yeah.
And there was literally nothing past Destin.
right.
Yeah.
Zero.
Yeah. Well,
And so, we went to bars like Hog's Breast Saloon. Caches. I got pictures on, with the tiger, at Caches, because they took pictures of, you could go get your photo taken by Caches, and you'd get your little black and white Caches photograph with Caches stamped on the corner.
Yeah, we went to Jetty East. Like, that was where you would go at the first week. Go to Jetty East.
Sandpiper Cove.
Yes,
Jetty
Sandpiper.
East. Those were some of the big ones. Mainsail.
I just remember Jetty and Sam. And actually, my mom and I went to Destin, and we stayed at Sandpiper Cove last year. And
How was it?
It was great. It was perfect.
They have like 4 or 5, if they still do. They have like 4 or 5 3-hole golf courses.
yes.
Holes for like a golf course. And we went down there, of course, a bunch of guys. We were all crammed in one room. We played Frisbee golf.
Oh, that's so fun.
Before Frisbee golf was a thing. We had a great time.
One
of the best trips of my life was staying at the Sandpiper for a week.
Yeah, as you know, I was raised so very devoutly Southern Baptist.
So was I.
So was I.
Yeah, no, but I actually didn't drink. And our beach vacations.
Or dance. You didn't dance. No dancing.
I did play cards, and I did go to the movies on Sundays, which was also prohibited, believe it or not.
Where did you grow up?
In Baton Rouge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
That's interesting.
you've missed the show where I amaze people and tell them I graduated LSU, and never had a drop of alcohol the entire time. Not one.
That's impressive.
I had to go to Baylor to start drinking.
That's where I went to Baylor.
Oh.
And I
Yeah.
Baylor,
Yeah. Sick 'em Bears, yeah. There's
a lot of drinking up in that Baptist.
How did I not know that
was.
you went to Baylor Law School?
I don't know.
I guess I just forgot that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you saw all the bears and the Larry. You remember they had that horrible. Since then they had to redo the whole bear.
The whole bear pit.
But
the
it was
bear pit
horrible.
at the time was pretty grim.
It was horrible.
What was the matter? Was it racist?
It was like a
or?
cement.
Racist.
Oh, did the bear get canceled? I mean, why do we have to redo it?
No, they were not. They were not racist
cement.
against the bear. The bear is the
mascot.
I know the bear is the mascot, but y'all were talking like,
I'm trying to figure out how are you racist against a bear.
I know. What?
We had to redo it. I don't know. I mean, I was thinking maybe black bear, white bear.
No.
Sean.
Okay. But it was in a cement, and there was no
it was
green area.
It was just a cement pit.
Yes.
And there was a hole that had been gouged out so that when it got to be 110 degrees, that was a bear cave that the thing could go, that the bear could go into, but it was murder. Now I started Baylor in '85.
Okay.
And so it was the one cool thing that they did with the Bears is it wasn't uncommon for the Bear Cubs to be taken out to wherever the green space was, the
They actually had live bears.
oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And they would
It was
take
a
out the
live
Bear
bear.
Cubs
Damn
and the guy
Were
would
these
like
black, brown? What were they?
I don't
Brown.
know.
I don't know.
Sure
They
they're
were
brown.
bear.
There was a
They
bear.
were bear. But they would bring the Cubs out. You'd just be sitting out there, out in the field or the meadow, or I can't remember what it was called. And
Can't
the
either.
bear
They
train,
release them?
yeah, he
The
wouldn't release
Cubs.
them, but they would take the bear
the
Cubs
big
out on
bear.
a leash like they were walking the dog,
Yeah.
and then take them over to you, and you could play with the bear
Yeah.
Cub, and it was.
Did they
yeah, it
take
was
the
kinda
bear
cool.
to the football games?
They would take the bear Cub. The big bear pretty much
Stayed in that
stayed in the
cement
hole.
pit. It was horrible.
Stayed in jail. But the bear Cubs, really, the big bear was there just so that they could have bear Cubs to take to the football games
Yeah.
and to
So
the basketball
did
games
they get
and
rid
all
of the
that.
live bears altogether?
No, they still have.
Oh,
they
just the
still have it.
contrary. Yeah, they
But
upgraded
but
it.
they upgrade like it actually
time.
has like I think PETA got involved and made
sure.
them like make it.
Well, it was kinda like the Mike the Tiger thing
Mike
at
the
LSU.
Tiger,
Yes.
It was brutal.
he's gone now, right?
No.
No, they totally
They don't
up-
bring him out
has
on the
his own
field anymore.
No,
Facebook
they don't
page.
take them on the field. Now there was what I thought was a scandal. I want to say last year they brought some other tiger, not Mike the Tiger, dropped him in a cage and circled the field with him, as was usually done with Mike the Tiger for 50 years. But LSU stopped doing that years ago. And for some reason, somebody thought, well, they needed to do that with the Tigers, so they brought in a ringer tiger
A ringer
and,
tiger.
and rolled him around. And I don't even know why they would have done that. But no, LSU's habitat for Mike the Tiger is really big and really nice.
Ole Miss
Yeah,
would
it's
have
real
a
pretty.
difficult time bringing a Shark Tank to the
Yeah,
field.
that would work. Or
Well,
bear.
no, but
Or
I
a
just get-
bear.
No, but they could have a nursing home and just bring in old men with a cane
Yeah,
and long white hair.
You look-
They'd be okay with that.
That's
People my parents'
canceled.
age would
Just
be,
kidding.
they'd be like coming in droves to see that.
Uh-huh.
Speaking of old men, did y'all hear the Joe Biden story that
Cancer.
that
Heard,
just
yes.
dropped? For those who haven't, diagnosed with an
Aggressive.
aggressive form of prostate cancer, which has metastasized to the bone. So, as much as we have dumped on Joe Biden over the Sunday afternoons, no comedy about that. That's just that's
I wonder
sad.
how long he's
That's
had it.
what I wonder. That's what I said. I said, I wonder if that was.
It's terrible that he has it, and I hate it for him. And my thoughts and prayers are for him and his family. But it certainly had this interesting timing that all this comes out when he has just been crapped on all week long. Him
Yeah,
and all the
tough
Democrats.
week for his legacy,
Yes, very much so.
and tough week for the news media, who are saying, "Wow, we had no idea. Wow, we're just now finding out."
The crazy
Sean and I are sitting here going, "Oh, and now you're the last one."
The crazy part is the guy that writes the book, Jake Tapper,
Jake Tapper.
was
has acted
one
like a-
of the worst.
Yeah, he was a total gaslighter. And now he's saying, well, I was tricked by the staffers. And I'm saying, I'm just this country lawyer in backwoods Mississippi, and I knew.
Yeah.
And you didn't know? Come on, Jake Tapper. I mean, who are you kidding?
No, they absolutely knew. Who's the guy that was at NBC, the political guy that left?
Chuck Todd.
Chuck Todd. So Chuck, right after he left, I saw an interview where basically this was before Trump became president. I think this was after the election, but before January 20th. And Chuck Todd admitted that he had known for a few years that he was having some cognitive decline,
Duh.
but didn't feel comfortable releasing it because no one in the White House was willing to go on record and release it. So he didn't want to be the one to break the news. I'm like, what the fuck? You're the
I mean,
news
truck
guy.
drivers in West Virginia could have confirmed yes.
Right.
As a matter of fact, he does. I mean, come on, man.
So you think that he was diagnosed and that's why he stepped down?
No. I think he's had cancer though. They've known that he's had cancer for a little while, and I think it was. I mean,
Yeah, in the last
always a politician.
2 weeks, they rolled him out, him and Dr. Jill on The View. And
that was a disaster.
And it was a disaster, but they've rolled him out on a few shows. And yes, the conspiracy theorist among us would say they were doing that to get ahead of we're going to make this announcement about his diagnosis. So, let's not let that overshadow his kind of valedictorian run through the news media interviews. And then, we're going to take him back home and, he'll take whatever treatment they're going to give to him.
I mean, the biggest bombshell about him in terms of his dementia was the report that came out about the fundraiser that he had with Clooney, where he didn't even know who George Clooney was.
Yeah, I did read that.
So now you know the whole basis for why Clooney flipped out, because he was like, he doesn't even know who I am.
Right.
And then, of course, they show the video of Obama, like, walking him off the stage.
Yeah.
That was not good. Anyway,
well,
I wish him well. Prostate cancer general.
It's no
effing
joke.
sucks.
So, Jenny, you won't know this, but, you know that I go walking. I imagine you've seen me around. Apparently, it's not really exercise that I'm looking for when I walk. It's being offended, because I'm constantly offended or irritated or socially anxious, because I've come on here. It's getting to be a weekly update.
Have y'all ever passed each other?
Yeah, I pass you all. We wait.
You better stay on the same side of the road.
I mean, we're a gaggle. Like, there's like sometimes there's two, sometimes there's six.
Is this your
of
boot
us.
camp?
This is the burn boot camp, girl. So we'll do burn, and then we'll go on a walk. And now we've added the vests.
You have some running vests.
Well, no, they're like the 16. You see them all. They're very popular. So of course, I have to have it. So it's like a vest, and it's the 16. I have the 16-pound. I started out with a 12. And
what is a 16 panel?
Oh, you don't know about this?
These are like, it's called, it's rucking.
It's called rucking, where you walk with some kind of weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. It makes my
shoulders. Do they have reflective?
Yeah.
They have reflected stripes on there?
And it keeps my shoulders back. I have a real,
hunched over.
Yeah, so it helps me.
It's all that
shoulders back.
Sick 'em bear shit.
Right. Anyway, what do you do?
Do you walk with Courtney?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Courtney Milan.
Yeah. Courtney, she'll always be J-Lo to me, because we used to do Paul Lacoste's, God, how long has it been?
20 years?
10,
Yeah.
13.
15.
It's
been about
a minute.
15.
And back in the day, Paul would give everybody a nickname. And the first day that she showed up, she thought she was going to be wearing these giant sunglasses, which she was very soon disabused of that illusion. But her nickname anyway was, you think you're J-Lo out here in your sunglasses.
Well,
so
that
for
is
years,
hilarious.
she was So if you see her and say,
I
I hear your
text her
true
right
name
now
is
and tell her.
J-Lo.
She's
Yeah.
probably listening.
Okay, so you can't tell us that everyone had a nickname and not tell us what yours was.
I didn't have a good nickname. He called me Counselor. So, I mean, that doesn't really,
that wasn't a
doesn't
great nickname.
really go anywhere. Now, a dear friend of mine, her nickname was Shit Ass. So that was
That's horrible.
I'll take Counselor over that just any time.
What was your nickname, Jenny?
Well, I only did Paul. We did the afternoon. You remember he did a
He
summers?
did a summer deal in the afternoon.
So
And
I was
he
going through
he
the
was
divorce.
kinder
I
and
had little
gentler.
kids, so I couldn't get up and go to his.
Yeah.
So Mom and I would do it on, I think it was on Monday and Wednesdays. And so we would do it out in the Madison Central football field. Hot as all get out.
Oh my, yeah, the plastic grass was just
awful.
radiating heat.
But Mama did it, and he loved Mama.
Yeah.
And gave her like the work, because she was probably the oldest one out there, and she was doing all that stuff.
But now Paul doesn't do it anymore, right?
I don't think
I
so.
don't know if he does or not.
I don't
Actually.
know. I don't think. I thought he.
Who does burn boot camp?
Shelly does. She was a trainer at she's been a trainer all over, and then Shelly Albritton and her brother and her sister, they own the burn boot camps in Mississippi.
It's like a franchise.
Yeah. So it's
Gotcha.
like Flowood, Oxford, and actually Courtney kind of, because I was over at Healthplex, and so COVID hit, and it kind of, I mean, they still did boot camp, but I needed a little change.
Well, I remember Orange Theory was a real big
It's still
thing
big.
6 or
Mhm.
7 years ago, and I don't hear anything about
Yeah,
it.
they're
now. I
still-
know they're still out there.
Oh
so
yeah,
it's-
they've got like
I have a client that was
Yeah.
a trainer there. I mean,
they've got a pretty much like Vernus. They say it's a cult. Okay.
Well, I mean
Vern's
that's
a cult.
that's
No.
what they said about PLS, and I kind of felt like but also I dig it.
Right.
You know, like
Oh,
I'm in
yeah.
it, and I dig it, and the camaraderie.
Oh, it's
and
like
it was
that.
it was really
Mhm.
great.
It's fun.
So I hate that I'm too broken down to keep doing
well, you
it.
could come to Burn. We have some guys there.
No, I thought that was just chicks.
No.
No, for real. I really thought that was, that
No,
was just
you
a
can-
woman thing.
We have a few people that come. I mean, no, there's a lot of guys that come.
Really.
Yes.
I
You
might
need to
look-
come. We have
you
a
do
6
it every day of the week,
I do it Monday through Saturday.
6 days a week.
Uh-huh.
I might,
Yeah,
I
come
might look into
on.
that. Yeah.
We
I'm,
have fun. It's a lot of fun. Now the guys can come at 6 a.m. and noon and
What time
4
do
or
the girls
5.
get there?
Well, they have a 5 a.m. class, and they have a I mean, it's all day long, but you have a 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, and then it jumps to noon. But they did where the males would only go at noon and 4 and 5, 6, but we opened our 6 a.m. class to the
Co-ed.
males.
There you go.
Yes.
Well, my latest update on being horribly offended by walking, and I'm telling you, I did not plan for this to be a weekly update, but apparently there are a lot of things that set me off, and this will set you off, Sean. You're gonna be disgusted.
So this is a new event.
when I tell you, you're gonna be disgusted when I tell you this happened to me, and I felt victimized about this. Okay, I'm walking down the street. I was,
okay.
and you'll believe me.
All
I'm
right.
I'm walking down the street. I'm minding my own business. There's another street that T-bones into the street that I'm walking down. So you get the picture. I'm walking down the top of the T, and the vertical part of the T T-bones into the street that I'm walking on.
You're coming into a 3-way stop.
Yes.
basically.
Yeah. But
Okay.
I mean, I'm walking. And so on the long part of the T, there's this guy that's walking, and we're approaching the same intersection.
But you're not on the same sidewalk.
Well, I mean, he's walking down his street and I'm walking down my street.
So y'all are soon to
he's-
intersect.
Yeah, and he's either gonna have to turn left, which would be where I'm coming from, or else he's going to turn right. And he's gonna hit the intersection about 10 seconds before I do. And this guy, like a psychopath, takes a right turn so that he's like 20 feet in front of me. Like every landmark he's passing like 3 seconds in front of me. Okay. And so my question, I mean, like 3 seconds in front
he's
of me.
walking in front of you.
He's right in front of me. And so my question to you is, should I have called the police on this guy? Because what kind of psychopath walks?
Did he know you were
20
behind
feet in
him?
front of you? How could he not? He sees me approaching the intersection.
So
You know,
he's
he
obviously
should've
going
sped
in
up or
he's,
slowed down.
Right.
I mean, you don't walk like
Right in front of
immediately
you.
right in front
Yeah, that
of
is kind
a
of.
total stranger.
Well, now 3 seconds is a
weirdo.
pretty good bit of distance. So
No,
you-
it isn't.
Yeah.
No.
walking.
I like
Yeah.
to walk faster if I see somebody. You know,
Exactly,
you
'cause
gotta
you're
you
normal.
Don't give me
'Cause
a
you're
time
normal.
distance.
You
Give me a
don't-
footage distance. We're talking 6 feet.
Like 20 feet.
That's a pretty good clip.
No. No, I'm right behind this guy. If he passes gas, I'm right there in his cloud.
I mean,
if he's
that's
sweaty,
5
if he stinks, I'm walking
I mean,
right
that's
into
almost
his
5
vapor
yards.
trail. I don't want that.
Well, let me ask
Well, you
you
need to
this.
speed
He could have
up
been
and
on the
pass
other
him.
side.
What
or I
if he
could pass him.
waited?
No,
What if he waited for you? Is he supposed to walk behind you?
Look, both people have the obligation to do something to break it up a little bit. But if you're in front, it's mostly your obligation. So now I got to drop anchor. I got to come to a dead stop, like I'm checking my phone or something, so that the guy can go up there a little bit. What does he do? Or he could have been on the other side. There's a million things he could have done.
What the fuck?
I mean, just
Dave needs
people are
therapy,
just
bro.
crazy.
He doesn't need exercise.
I
He needs
was
therapy.
offended. I was just absolutely offended. All right, here's question number 2, because here's something else that I saw. And we did talk
Have you
about
ever had
this
anything like
last
that,
week.
Jenny? No.
Yeah, well,
I mean, we're
Shocker.
fast.
we'll hit this in the boot camp. Believe me, I got
We're
a lot of
fast.
material. on
Okay.
this. We talked about this. I want to say the last time, the idea that when you go out and you're walking your dog and you got to take a plastic bag with you,
Yes.
who's walking who? I mean, who's
Right.
the master, right? So I see that I see this guy.
Depends on where the dog's going to take a crap.
Well, funny you should say that. Funny you should
But if
say
it's in
that.
someone's yard, you should not let that happen.
Right.
But if it's just like
Well, okay. First of
the
all,
grass along
I
the
mean,
side of the road,
why
who cares?
does it matter if somebody's dog takes a dump in somebody's yard? It's the most natural thing in the world. It's helpful to the lawn, actually. I mean, why would you mind unless you go out and play in your front yard, which you don't?
Oh, I have
um,
so many stories about people getting mad.
My
Well,
golden
yeah.
retriever took a dump in one of my parents' neighbor's yard, and it was pouring down rain. And I was like, I really probably because like they're up every year for like yard of the year, right? And so I was like, oh my God, he's over there in their yard just taking a massive dump right there in the freshly cut grass, and it was raining. And I was like, I am not going over in there. I was like,
Right.
come on, lucky.
Well, but
Yeah.
it helped because it's
Maybe.
natural for the yard.
I didn't
and then
see
it's
it the
raining,
next day
so
when
it's
I
all
drove
going to
by.
dissolve.
It was gone.
So,
Somebody
I mean, what's
picked
the
it up.
problem? Yeah.
They probably, the rain got it. Was
Yeah,
it
exactly.
raining?
Yeah, the rain gets it. You said it was pouring down rain, so
Yeah.
the rain dissolves the stuff.
I had a
and
lady-
It's not a problem.
I had a lady in my neighborhood, and it was and I had my plastic bag, but I was going to walk my dog, and she did her business, and then I was going to come back and clean it up, and it wasn't even anybody's yard. It was in the median,
And she
ran after me. You need to get your, crazy. And I was like, and I held up my baggie. I was like, I'm going to, and I come back.
our former neighbors put a little sign out.
Oh,
and
there's signs.
put a sign out after we moved, right after we moved, and it's got a graphic of a little dog on
Yep.
there, and the dog is a golden retriever. Sarah was like,
Like,
did you
that's
see
what
the
the-
effing sign? I go, I did. She goes, did you happen to notice what kind of dog was on there? I was like, yes, I did.
Well, when I was in Jackson, Jackson, they don't care if dogs are running loose. And so my dogs would get out all
they
the
don't
time.
care whether people
I
are running
know.
loose.
Yeah.
And so when I moved to Madison, it was a real rude awakening because because I had a jumper, my dog would jump
Right.
the fence. And so all of a sudden I'd get a knock on the door, and it'd be the cops telling me, you need to get your dog in the, side. So I had to get in one of those.
Invisible fences.
Yeah.
Did it
and
work?
Oh, yeah.
Well, for some dogs, those things won't work.
Yeah, I know.
Because
It
they're
worked.
just like, I don't care. I'm getting shot.
Yeah, shock. So what? Yeah. After a while, I
Yeah.
eventually get out of it. So what
Yeah.
the hell? I'm doing it. Well, I'm way behind this guy again, walking in my neighborhood. I mean, I'm telling you, it's a
Yeah.
million things are going on if you pay attention,
Yes.
like I do.
I mean,
And this-
Dave needs his own show like Larry
This is
David.
it. This is the show.
This is
It
what
should
he's
be
trying
Dave,
to do.
It should be Dave walk some more, walking and talking some more. We should be broadcasting during the walk so that I can talk, because that's where I get my best ideas. I'm 100 yards behind this guy. He's got his baggie. I'm in my neighborhood. His dog does its business, and to his shame, this guy reaches in. He gets the dog mess, whatever. They keep going. As soon as he gets out of the gate, so that we're like in the commons, the guy shakes it back out, so he's not carrying it the whole way. And I thought, good for you.
Yeah.
Good. I dig that. I absolutely support that. So he just
So now he's got a bag that
he's got this
carrying
soiled bag,
that's got
but it's not
shit all over the bag.
but it's just smeared. Well, it's not going to reuse the bag, or maybe it is.
Well, so what's he going to
So
do
is he
with
gonna
it?
come back
Throw
and get
it
it?
away, I guess.
I guess he got
but he just
tired of
didn't want
the
to carry
heat
it.
in the plastic
Yeah,
bag.
so he'll drop it and come back. I see little baggies all over our neighborhood.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
They'll drop it and come back,
absolutely.
and sometimes they'll forget to come back.
Yeah, forget. Yeah,
The
they
neighborhood
forget.
should put little doggy disposal things like apartments.
true.
I've seen that done.
Well, that's in
Yeah.
township.
But
they
you
have
know,
that.
I'm thinking this guy doesn't want to walk for 45. Maybe it's the beginning of the walk. He want to walk for 45 minutes
Yeah,
carrying his dog's filth. And I
Right.
thought,
that's pretty
you
good.
know, that makes complete sense to me. Somebody like Sean would be offended if he saw it happen. But I thought, yeah,
I've done that
good,
before.
good for
right?
you.
I've done it.
Sarah takes our dogs and lets them go. I mean, when he's not in somebody's yard,
Right.
but just on the side of the street or wherever.
Mhm.
Nobody's picking that up.
I pick mine up because if
On
not,
the side
I'm
of the street.
well, if it's on the
Well,
street,
of course, we live out, near the trace. So,
Yeah.
I mean, typically it's out in, public land.
right? No, I'll pick mine up because that lady scared me, and she's gonna come after me. You pick your back up.
Do you know who she is?
No, I know who she is. Yes, I do know who she is. Her no longer husband used to come to my door and yes, and tell me how horrible my kids' driving was. Becca,
These must be retired people.
I don't know, but
They don't have
he yelled at
anything
me.
else better
He
to
said-
do.
He goes, "You need to get." She ran that stop sign, and I was like, "Okay." And then he was walking off, and he goes, "No wonder she has so many dents in her car." I was like, "Oh my gosh, what?" He is the most miserable person I've ever.
Did you wind up the?
Yes. The universal signal.
Yes.
Salute.
I was so offended. I was just offended.
I would have absolutely just said, "Go F yourself."
I think I yelled at Jay about it. You know how we do. We get mad. I was like, "Jay, you should have come and beat him up." Jay didn't even know what was going on.
He's like,
He's like, "Huh? What's happening?"
So another thing that happened that made me think about the show was I went last weekend to Louisville, Kentucky to go see my daughter, and then we went to Knoxville to go see Whitney Cummings, the
How
comedian.
was she?
Oh yeah,
she was brilliant.
I love her.
Yeah, she was.
She's awesome.
She was.
She's so good.
She was really good. The act was a lot cleaner than it
The
usually
roast.
is, which isn't
She's
to
in the
say
club.
that it wasn't.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I
She's
don't
been
think I
is
did
she?
know that.
I didn't know that.
She's been sober for I don't know 3-4 years, maybe a little bit longer.
I think I did. I think I have heard her say that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she was really cool. We went to it was just my daughter and I in Louisville, of course, and my son lives in Knoxville. The Whitney Cummings show was in Knoxville, but I flew into Louisville, and I think the show, I got to remember now, the show was Saturday night in Knoxville. Saturday morning, I wake up in Louisville. And by the way, I came up with a personality test question. This is Friday night. I'm in Nulu, which is one of the subdivision of Louisville. It's basically like what Fondren wants to be. Lots of little restaurants, lots of little shops, lots of just hip, cool, trendy little stuff. Well, it turns out that my hotel is right across the street from the biggest nightclub in Nulu. And, so I've got
Who knew?
Yeah, who knew Nulu? And you look out the window and you see all, at 11 o'clock at night, and you see, all these kids out on the street and whatnot. Well, the problem was I had gotten up in Mississippi at like 3:30 in the morning to catch a 5:30 flight. And, now it's like 11 o'clock at night, and draw the shades all you want, but you got the, that whole thing going.
Is this like a strip club?
No, it was just a all the cool kids
I
club.
mean, I had to ask.
No, what is that? Is that what strip clubs do?
Well,
Is
Yeah,
there,
they got
is
the
there a
beat.
specific sound
Well,
from
you
the
had the
strip
beat
club?
going
How
like
do you know?
No, it was
something.
just a
Okay,
night.
we've got
No,
it.
it was just a nightclub, and they had the subwoofers and the speakers and the whole thing, and so you're hearing all of it. And fortunately for me, I am just so dead on my feet that it's not going to bother me. but I thought, if my wife was here,
she'd have been pissed.
A, she would have been pissed. B, there would have been a conversation with the manager about you're changing room. Oh, we don't have any rooms. Oh, you're going to find us another room, because her personality is to take care of that kind of business. My personality is just a kind of, and I thought that's a pretty good personality test.
Did you have earphones?
No.
Like
no,
noise canceling?
But for my being absolutely dead on my feet, I would have just been laying awake going, oh my God, when does this club close?
Did you sleep at all?
Oh,
or
I
was watching.
I slept.
I was
like
watching
a corpse.
My cousin Vinny this weekend, and I am not underestimating. I've seen it a minimum 50 times.
Yeah.
But I was watching it Friday night. I was finishing watching it before we went to eat. Sarah and I were going to eat with some friends, and of course they had the great scene in there where we'll have 2 or 3 scenes where he's got the pig farm right next to him, so he can't sleep. They've got the
train.
The train. Yeah. Of course, he's like, "What time? Does it always come at 5?" And the guy's like, "Oh, rarely." And then the next day it comes at 4. And he's like, "He's like, you told me yesterday." He goes, "Yeah, it never comes at 5. It's always at 4." And so eventually he finally finds the best place to sleep, and that's in prison during a prison riot, because it makes him feel like he's, back home in New York. I sleep through pretty much anything. And if I don't, I do carry noise, ear pods or whatever, noise canceling ear pods.
I have my Alexa going, thunderstorms, and I have my phone now going.
There you go.
But I did get a plug for my phone. Remember I was doing that battery pack? Remember we talked about that?
Oh, yeah.
I don't do that anymore.
No, I like to play, thunderstorms on Alexa as well.
Yeah.
Sarah kind of is okay with it. Mm-hmm. She likes some noise canceling stuff, sound stuff, but sometimes I like the thunderstorms too loud, and Sarah doesn't like that. And last week when she was gone down to Orlando all week, I had that crap just, blaring, thunderstorms. And I request Alexa to play heavy thunderstorms.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I want to hear the lightning.
Yes.
I want to hear it all.
I love it.
The kids screaming, the dogs barking because of the thunder. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I had the clever idea Saturday morning. Let's go to Mammoth Cave, because we're in Louisville, and it's not even an hour drive down to Bowling Green, Kentucky, which is pretty close to where Mammoth Cave is. And my daughter had never been there before.
I've never been.
Have you not? I sent Daniel a couple of pictures.
It's like Rock City,
up.
Not Rock City, but
it is a cave, and it is so big that they call it the Mammoth Cave. So that's a picture. Yeah, that's a picture that I took. It's kind of.
Have you been to the caves there in Chattanooga?
No.
Oh, they're really nice. Have you?
Yeah, it's. Well, and then the other one. So you go down.
That's beautiful.
You go down 250
They have it lit up,
feet.
obviously.
Yeah.
And it's cold.
Yeah, bring a jacket.
Bring a jacket.
And what's interesting is the way there's several different tours, several different entrances.
That's
the caves go miles and miles and just an insane number of miles. Like there's 300 miles of caves.
Is it Knoxville or Nashville that has the cave amphitheater where they play music in the cave?
I'm going to say probably Nashville. But
very good.
So leave that picture up, Daniel, because the way that the caves are created is there's a lot of natural limestone formations, and the water seeps into the ground like moving groundwater, and it just erodes away, just sands away, you might say, the limestone, and just leaves these holes. But it's always falling down into another level. And so there's like 7 or 8 different levels of where the water formed an underground river and just sanded away the base of the river until it found some perforation and then started falling in. And
good thing it's not, an area like out west where you have earthquakes all the time.
Yeah, no. What's interesting, so that's a picture, like the cave that we went into is 250 feet down, and the way you get in is these really narrow passageways.
Now, is the water actually, when
Wow.
it's lit up, is it actually green, or is that some sort of?
No, it's green as can be. And what you can do is you can go down into this level, which is like 450 feet down, and they'll outfit you with a kayak.
Are you
and
going
put your
down?
little
Are you going down
miner
like in
helmet.
an elevator, or are these stairs?
Oh no, buddy. These are stairs, and it is, I mean, giant cave spiders and narrow, and like some of these passageways are about half as wide as that door. I mean, it is a thing to get down there.
How much you pay to go to that?
It wasn't much. It's a national park, so
Not too
it
bad.
didn't get gouged at all. Multiple different tours, but it was a 2-hour tour, not that much. But you can take here's
One
a tour
short
of
of
this
Gilligan.
part, here's a tour of another part, here's a tour of another part. So it was really cool.
You like that?
I did.
Okay,
It
good.
took me just a second.
So and then we took so anyway we finished up with that, and then we drove from that part of Kentucky down to Knoxville. 3 hours it took basically to get from Bowling Green to Knoxville. Oh my God, I've never been in Appalachia before, which is there was no interstate, and going from Bowling Green to Knoxville, you were sure enough going through Appalachia, and the way that you know is you see no
You hear banjos.
well, you see no nationally recognized trade names. Like you don't see a Walmart sign. You don't see a Walmart sign. You see Joe's Dry Goods.
Right.
You don't see an Exxon station. You see a Jim Bob's filling station.
Right.
You know, you don't see a McDonald's. You see a
McDowell's.
Luke's Hot Eats.
What was
And-
that documentary about that? Don't you remember the Appalachian people? Like it was like on some sort of, I can't remember what it was. Anyway, that kind of gave me a glimpse of the people.
Well, I mean, it's you're getting West Virginia coming
Yeah.
down into there. I mean, there's a lot of meth addicts up in that
Yes.
part
Oh
of the
my
country.
God.
yes, that's what I think.
Yeah.
That is what it was about.
Yes,
was the meth.
I mean it's very, very blue collar.
Yeah.
Very impoverished. Definitely run down for sure.
So Sunday morning, of course now I'm, I have my daughter with me, but also, my son joins us and his girlfriend, the one getting the PhD in chemistry, because,
She's
what
smart.
else would you do? And, we're kind of farting around in downtown Knoxville, found one of these cool old movie theaters that somebody had actually fixed up, and went to go see Until Dawn, which is one of the newest horror movies out there.
I happened to miss
You
that
missed
one.
it. It was really interesting because,
And I love movies.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
and you love
Horror
horror movies,
That's some.
and
I
it was
know.
really interesting because, all these movies whether it's a summer camp or the high school kids, it's always the group of 5 or 6 kids, and one by one they get killed over the last
it's a
right
great formula.
over the last 2
Yes.
hours.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, it was
And
really
it's,
weird,
and it's
because-
always the unsuspecting girl that is the wimpy guy that's going to
Yeah.
be the one who kills the bad guy.
right,
Right,
and,
or
and
they're
then
about to-
The jock is getting killed
Yes,
first.
there's
the
a
very
jock, yeah, the
first.
jock
Single
goes
time.
first.
oh yeah.
Yes.
And the
and then-
cheerleader.
And then all the cheerleaders have to take a
Mhm.
shower at different parts
Right.
of the movie
And they all go
for
off
some, or go
alone.
swimming in the lake, or
Yeah,
for
the
some
good-looking
reason.
guy having sex with
Yes,
his
they're
girlfriend.
always
and
about
they're
to
getting
have
he
killed
always
off.
gets punished for
Always.
that.
Oh yeah, totally.
Well, what was interesting about this is it was the 5 23-year-olds, and they all got killed in the first 15 minutes. And so I was like, well, we're fresh out of protagonists here. Now what are we going to do? So it was really it was an interesting.
Is this a 3D? Like,
no,
okay, all right.
but yeah, I mean, it was.
Was it a good mate? Did you like it?
I really liked it. It wasn't my favorite horror movie.
Yeah.
But
Was this supernatural? Was this just
oh
evil?
yeah. It was just the they've all got to come up with this, what I call the Stephen King problem.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen King will write this great story and all this crazy stuff is happening and really gets you into it. And you're thinking, how is he going to solve it? And the problem is there's no way to solve it without some stupid supernatural, with a playing cards. That was a haunted deck by the magician that got killed. It's just some stupid thing. Eventually they have to get back to what caused the supernatural problem. And it's always something stupid because, none of that actually really exists.
Didn't you watch Scooby-Doo?
Yeah.
They always
exactly.
took out the
gotten
mask.
away with it if it wasn't for those stupid kids.
So yeah,
Meddling kids.
I looked up the list of what are the most popular horror movies, and
Like of all time?
yeah, like of all time.
The Shining.
And yeah,
that be number
actually
one?
there were 7 on the list. The Shining was one of them. And it wasn't necessarily the best horror movies of all time, but
Right.
the most influential.
Yes.
Or
And
Halloween.
yeah, The Shining,
Friday the
Halloween
13th.
was
Yeah.
Friday the 13th was not on the list on this
Really?
list.
Really?
Did you know
Um,
they copied Halloween?
Well, did they have Nightmare on Elm Street?
Nightmare on Elm Street was not on the list.
Wow.
Oh.
Children of the Corn.
No,
Children of
not
the
on the
Corn.
list.
That was a good one.
That gave me nightmares for years.
Amityville Horror.
No, not on
What?
the list. No.
Now
It's,
that should absolutely be
well,
on there.
I'll give you
What
the,
about,
I'll give you this.
The Omen.
No, not on the list.
Oh my-
The seven item list. Some of these you're going to say, okay, that's fair. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay.
Okay.
That you got to give them that. The Exorcist.
Mm,
You gotta
Yes.
give them that.
Well, that's in line with the Omen, but yes.
Yeah. Psycho.
yeah.
I mean, you got to get. Again, is Psycho
Carrie?
one of the best horror movies of all
Carrie.
time? No, I thought Carrie should have been on the list instead of Get Out.
Rosemary's
I
Baby.
heard that was.
Yeah, Get Out was really good, but
I haven't seen it, but I've heard,
Yeah.
great things about it. I've read about it. I just hadn't taken the time to watch
Apparently,
it.
it brought back the horror movies like that
yeah.
But
genre.
so Get Out.
And so anyway, just to go through the 7: Exorcist, Psycho, Shining, Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Get Out, and then Hereditary.
I've never heard of that.
Oh, Hereditary is the scariest movie I've ever seen.
I will not be watching it.
Yeah, I mean, now I will say this. We were talking about this when we were having breakfast Sunday morning. My kids, who look on Christmas, we love to watch horror movies. We'll just
That is
line them up on Netflix and just start watching
Instead of
them.
nice
And we're
movies
howling
for
laughing the whole time.
For Christmas, you're watching
No,
horror
because
movies.
because the horror movies on Netflix are just gross out movies. It's
Yeah.
just how can you decapitate somebody in the craziest way? But we were talking about my son's
Blair
girlfriend
Witch
and her family.
should have been on there because it really was a
It-
defining.
yeah, I would
Yes.
give it that.
It was a defining movie that really changed horror in
Right.
a lot
I
of
remember
ways.
that.
But anyway, the story went that they were watching Hereditary like on a Saturday afternoon where the sun is shining, and they're like, "Oh, that's not that good of a movie." Well, no horror movie on a Saturday afternoon and the windows are open and the sun is shining is going to be any good. But let me tell you, if you want a good scare, we saw it in the movie theater, and we're always cutting up and laughing at a horror movie because we want to see all the crazy ways that somebody gets decapitated or whatever. 20 minutes in, somebody gets decapitated, and all 3 of us were sitting there and nobody said a word. It was like,
Oh,
Oh, my
golly. I could
God, oh
not
my,
do
and that was it. And it just kept getting darker and darker and dark, and all very believable. And it was
this like Saw type of stuff?
Mm-mm,
Did
no.
you see Saw?
I saw the very first Saw, and it was, I didn't watch all of it because once it was clear that this is just a torture movie, I give no artistic license to, hey, let's just torture people for 2 hours. To me, that's not art. That's just sick. That really is. I give nothing to that. And
That's a fair criticism.
yeah, I don't want to watch people
Now,
get tortured.
you
And
could
I don't
argue that,
understand
that a
other
movie
people
like
want it.
Seven
No,
was a
that's
horror
disgusting.
movie,
What about? Oh yeah.
but
What
it's
about
not a traditional
Smile?
horror
What's
movie.
that with the
Smile.
smile?
Yeah, I
didn't
kind of
see it.
wanted to see that, but I didn't.
Yeah, I don't.
But
watch
anyway, we
horror
saw
movies.
Until Dawn, and it wasn't scary.
Mhm.
It was I would just say
Now,
one of a million.
One of the movies that I watched a
run-of-the-mills.
few years back that was actually pretty good, a horror movie. I thought it was very well done. It was very different. Was Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah.
Kind of new age with some, I mean,
I can't watch them. They give
So-
me nightmares.
So
Really?
the other thing
Yeah,
that I looked
hate
up
'em.
was
did you watch Jaws?
Yeah, that's probably why I don't watch.
Don't tell me that's you call that.
No,
a
I'm
horror
not.
movie.
But,
Yeah.
But,
I mean,
like, that
Jaws
probably scarred
scared
me.
people for,
It's,
lifetimes.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
It's
I mean,
scarred
it changed
me.
the way people were in
Yeah.
the beach.
Oh yeah.
Parents were not letting kids watch
yeah,
Jaws.
so did TikTok, because now you will see people at 30A and there'll be some overhead drone showing the sharks that are just swimming right around people, and somebody got bit, as now is happening. So yeah, hell yeah, it changed people's attitudes. So
How much orange was there in Knoxville?
fair amount.
As an LSU fan, were you
I don't have the distaste for Tennessee that Ole Miss does. Hey, that's
no, really? I mean, the people that
they're
really,
not our,
Yeah.
the people
they're
that
not
really
our
hate
rival.
Tennessee are 1,000 times more than Ole Miss is Florida and Alabama.
Yeah, right.
And
Mm-hmm.
they really hate them.
So anyway, so I will close the show on summer, introduction to summer, with, yes, there are sharks that are swimming around people's legs. Go out and have fun on your
Or-
big
by the way, are you
first
going?
week
Are you going to first
vacation.
week?
No, I haven't been to first week in a long, long time.
Yes. No, it's
Yeah.
way too many people. Way
yeah.
too many
It's
people.
just too
Are you?
crowded.
You're not going, are you?
Not going
Bonnie's
until
going though, right?
No, until the bar convention in July.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm not going this year
Are you okay with that?
to the bar convention.
Oh, I thought you were first
No.
week.
I just have got. I mean, this is like the last few months, and then going into this summer, really some of the busiest months that I've had.
Yeah.
I just don't have time to be taking vacation, so I'm good with that.
you're just a working man.
That's right. Just keep
Just a
on
working man.
working.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I had a great
Jenny.
time.
Had a great time having you here. Appreciate everybody listening in. Don't forget 15% discount.
DTSM?
We've made huge money off of this.
Yes, Jenny. Now that you're here, we're hoping that we're going to
You'll
get.
boost up.
Yeah,
some-
you're going to boost some sales
Oh,
for
yeah.
Cowboy
Boost
Country
some
Club.
sales.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm there.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks. And Dave will walk some more next week.
There you go.
Yay.